I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a warm welcome to our Street League Sim Racing night. We've got a pretty decent competition set up for you here. We've got some fast boys. We've got some boys that we've seen go fast IRL, and some boys that we've seen go fast in the sim, and some boys that we have not yet seen go fast IRL. I'm very curious to see how the battle between Hyper and Amari goes in Citrus Springs in a little over 2 weeks now, I think. We're starting to roll up on it. If you're interested in attending some 7-inch spec drone racing, then you can go ahead and check out streetleague.io, where we've got an entire spec that we basically have just created and put into the world, and we were curious to see what would happen with it.
Armored quad.
It turned into this, and now we're doing all sorts of stuff. We're doing tiny whoop races, we're doing sim races, and our main event is the Street League races that we are going to be hosting around the country for the rest of the year, all leading up to the championship. And the only way to get to the championship is to earn our Street Cred crypto token that is going to be your ticket. So the only way you earn that is by winning races and beating other pilots in season races. However, this race tonight is just for fun. And we've been having a blast so far. We're a couple rounds in, and we're going to be jumping into the top 8 here in about 30 minutes. So we're going to run as many rounds as we can until then. It looks like it's going to be 4, potentially 5. But for now, we've got some racing going on. We've got 6 pilots up in the air. It looks like Hyper is going to be that lead pilot going up and over the tunnel. Rocker Guy chasing right behind him, though. He's one of the sim veterans here on the DRL sim, and definitely showing it, but the competition is incredibly stiff in this heat. We've got Imperious, KB, and the Ice Cheetah all putting in some really solid efforts to catch up to Hyper here as he goes on to lap number 2.
Can we restart this? My race didn't start.
Yeah, free never long.
We're gonna get a rerun from this one. Go ahead and queue out, boys.
I'm staring at drones on the podium still.
Unfortunate. Oh, that was an intense one. I was really hoping to see how that played out.
Hey.
We're gonna get to see a lot more of that though tonight, because we've got several more
Imperious.
You.
A lot more
victory lap.
rounds on podiums.
Oh, do we lose Imperious on Discord? Oh, he's deafened. He doesn't know.
He forfeited though. He must have realized, like, where'd everyone go?
He's like, I'm not absolutely duking it out with somebody right now.
Yeah, I noticed. My bad.
Alright, no, you're good.
Alright, free. We're just waiting for Free to hop back in. Free, let us know when you're in.
We'll do. My sim's restarting. I had to Alt F4.
Okay.
Oh, lucky.
Sky, I've been muting and deafening you while we're swapping races. Is everything working good?
Yep, that works.
Okay.
Unless you need me for something, then feel free to do so. Okay. Alright, so we're going to take another look at these pilots. So we got Hyper, one of local multi-GP's fastest pilots. He's finished top 4 several times in a row, I believe. KB, a newer pilot to drone racing, but a veteran on the sim right now. He's been absolutely crushing it on the sim, and he's dipped his toes into Street League for the first time in Las Vegas in our season race number 1. The Ice Cheetah, you've seen him on the DRL leaderboards before. He's a fierce contender on the DRL simulator. Imperious, local to myself actually, from Colorado. He's been trying to get onto a certain drone racing league for a while now. I think he's a good fit for it, so hopefully Street League will be a good stepping stone for him to be able to pull that off. Rocker Guy is going to be one of our other contenders. Another sim veteran. And also Free, another pilot that has just dipped his toes into the Street League drone racing community, and he's been an awesome part of it, making sure all of our pilots are provided with 3D prints and whatnot. And they're all going to be racing here as we've got Hyper taking the lead up through that Emmelman. Coming on to lap number 2 after the slalom. It's just a whole herd of pilots behind him. What a absolutely ferocious pack we've got here. Going on to lap number 2, it's still going to be Hyper in that lead, managing to maintain the momentum throughout these turns, but an absolute battle for second place right now. We've got Free, Ice Cheetah, KB, and Rocker Guy all in a pack going through that slalom. What a beautiful sight they are to see as they fly in tandem. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell which one of them is in second place right now, but really all that matters right now is going to be that first place position of Hyper. He's going to be scoring max points in this round. This is our fastest heat of pilots. If he beats all of these guys, unless somebody set a crazy time in one of the other rounds, which I don't think they did, he's going to be taking home the most points for the round. And right now it's going to be Hyper onto that last lap, followed by KB, then Free. We're starting to see a little bit of space here. Let's take a look at Free in that, or KB in that second place position, barely edging out Free up through that element, and the mistake from KB is going to let Free make the pass. Now he's pushing on Hyper. Is he going to be able to make the pass on Hyper as well? He's only a tail back with less than a lap to go, and the mistake from Free, he's going to go down. That's going to let KB make the pass and get the second place right at the last second by 0.3 seconds. Oh my goodness. What an upset that was.
Dude, I was just chasing Hyper the whole race. I was right behind you.
You wanted it. You wanted the gold. Wow, great racing class. That was fun to watch.
You didn't have to be that genius. Thank you, though. And the third lap, I just flew straight into the ground. I thought it was over.
Way to hang on to that, KB. That was...
Appreciate it.
My hands got shaky and I messed
Quite a
up.
few mistakes on that one.
The nerves. It's real. It's mostly just commentating. Once somebody starts yelling about you, it's game over.
Yeah.
That's when it all
That's true.
goes on the line. So that's going to be it for round number 3. We're going to go ahead and give our race director a little bit of time to collect some of those points, and we'll see this tally update on my on your right side of your screen. But right now it's going to be Hyper in that lead, KB, and it looks like Free has just lost the position to Imperious. Although they are tied, so that's going to come down to the motocross rule. Whoever won that last heat, I believe, is... no, we're seeing some points come in. So we're getting to watch this in real time. This is kind of fun. But yeah, nobody really touching Hyper right now. We did see Amari jump up into that number 10 position. He was in 15th at the beginning. He's moved his way up several positions. And I think that will continue to be the trend. He's only got 2 more positions to make it into that top 8 spot and make it onto our finals. So again,
Alright, final results.
Alright, sounds like we got final results from our race director. Thank you, Lead Fingers. And so that's going to be Hyper in first place, the Ice Cheetah in second, KB in third. Fourth place is going to be Free. Rocker Guy in 5th, Imperious in 6th, 7th is going to be Lead Fingers hanging on. King hanging on still technically, but we may not see him back in this next round. So he may jump down to Fairy, and I think we will definitely see Amari knocking on that door as well. So it's going to be a question of, can Fairy stave off the advances of Amari as he makes his way up this leaderboard. He's been doing it very quickly. We're only going to... I'm not sure how many rounds we'll be able to get in. Maybe 1 or 2, so it's going to depend. We're going to finish out whatever round we are on around 9 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. It is the standard time of the mountain people, of which I am one, and of which many Americans are a part.
We got cities and everything up here.
We've had a whole fun discussion about time zones. Apparently ours is one of the least standard of the standard times.
The least standard.
Oh man.
So we're gonna go ahead and...
You guys probably do have the least cities since that was brought up.
Yeah.
Since it was brought up.
Let's see. So it looks as though these are going to be our next pilots. So we're going to be looking at, is it Lim or is it Lime? Lim?
Lem.
Lim. Okay, so we got Lim with his Taco Bell box, I believe. That's pretty great, honestly. We've got Sturmy, we've got Groot, we've got DeBits, we've got Grand Warfare, and Chris Christensen.
Yeah,
Is that my 5th time saying it real fast? think so.
Yeah,
No.
Capper.
I think Grand Warfare dipped.
Oh, Grand Warfare is not going to be in this
Yeah,
one.
he had Big O, I believe.
Yeah, so we're just going to...
This is like the third time I opened up this thing.
Yeah, we're going to see some of these guys filtered down to the bottom heats as they become inactive. But some of them managed to score some considerable points. So I think that King will end up not in last place, that's for sure. Alright, we got our pilots gridded up. And here we go, heat number 1 of round 4. Our pilots are ready. We've got lights, we've got tones, and away we go. It's going to be, ooh, a little bit of a crash there, looks like from Groot. And that's going to let the Bits and Chris Christensen jump into the lead along with Sturmy as they go around and over the tunnel. Up through that Emmelman, it looks like we're going to see Sturmy storm ahead, followed closely by the Bits. Jump to his view as he goes through that slalom. Sturmy on a nice little run here. Trying to get used to that drone. This is the spec drone that we've been able to get working in the DRL sim. So it flies a little bit different than what most of these pilots are used to, but they've definitely spent the time and put in the work to figure it out here in round number 4. Sturmy looking nice and solid as he goes back onto that slalom for the second time. And he's going to be jumping onto lap number 3 here. And he's so far nice and clean away. He's going to be followed by DeBits, going through that tunnel around our U-turn flag and up and over the tunnel. Chasing him down, I don't think he's going to be able to gain much here, but he does. Ooh, he has a little skim, and we have a mistake from Sturmy. That's going to let DeBits actually make the pass that we didn't think was going to happen. And he's all the way into the slalom, several tails ahead of Sturmy. Sturmy taking a minute to get back up there. We got a little bit of a battle now because we've got Sturmy being chased down by Chris Christensen. As they go on to the last lap of the race, it looks like the Bits nice and clean here. He's got some room to work, and he clips that ground again. It's been a little bit troublesome for him, and that's going to let Sturmy catch up. Who's going to make the pass? It's going to be Sturmy making the pass, going on to the last element of the track, but the Bits takes it right back and then crashes on the ground, letting Sturmy storm ahead onto the last lap, and that's going to be it. Sturmy sneaking in there at the end. He had it for most of the race, gave it up a couple times, but ultimately managed to get it back, managed to get his composure, and taking the win there in heat number 1. The Bits making a valiant effort to take away that number 1 spot from him, almost pulls it off, and Chris Christensen in there too. Honestly, they all had a pretty decent shot, finishing within 3 seconds of each other. Great racing from all of our pilots there. And that's going to advance us to heat number 2. We're going to introduce our pilots here. We're going to have Laws FPV, King, who I believe is going to be AFK in this one. We've got Daikon, we've got Amari, we've got Leadfingers, and Barry. It does look like we are missing one King FPV. Not going to be able to attend this one. He had other matters to attend to. Ultimately, really great racing though so far. This is probably going to be our last, this may end up being our last round, and then we'll be jumping into top 8. So I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of time to explain our top 8 format, because it's different than how any other drone racing league works. So we're going to start out with 2 semi-final groups. So semi-final group A, semi-final group B. That's pretty standard. But what's not standard is that after every single heat, the winner is going to advance to finals, to top 4. We're going to race again. So we'll race semi-final heat, or semi-final A once. We're going to advance whoever wins that heat, and then we're going to run it back with the remaining 3 pilots. Whoever wins that heat is going to advance. Then we're going to run semi-final group B. We're going to advance one pilot in our first heat. We're going to run it again. And then we're going to advance the next pilot. And that'll give us our 4 top finishers, where they will continue to battle it out for the podium. The way that works, we're going to race our first heat. Last place is eliminated. So if you get 4th place in that first heat, you're eliminated. We're going to race the second time. 3rd place is going to get eliminated. And that's going to bring it to our ultimate climax, a 1v1 versus our fastest 2 pilots to decide it all. They're going to throw all their street cred on the line, and they're going to make sure that they've proven whose streets it is. So we're going to get to that here momentarily. We're going to be kicking that off in about 20 minutes. But right now, we've got round 4, heat 2. We are loading in. We've got pilots, we've got tones, and they are off. And I'm going to be looking to see Amari make some serious gains here, as we know that he's got the speed in him. He didn't have the practice initially, but he's getting warmed up. We can already see him starting to pull away from the other pilots as he goes into the Emmelman, touching it as he passes that gate just barely. Keeping it nice and clean though, otherwise through that slalom. Looks like a little bit of a cliff there though. That's going to let Leadfingers make the pass. He's going to be the first one to the gate going on to lap number 2. Amari, though, not going to let that one fly. He's already made the pass back going up through the Emmelman. Is he going to be able to keep it clean here again? It looks like he's not able to keep it clean. He hasn't figured that element out yet. That extra track time that Leadfingers has had is going to give him the advantage coming through the slalom and on to lap number 3. Is he going to be able to sneak a point in on Amari? That's going to be critical for staying in the top 8. It's going to be a battle here going into this last round to see who can make it and who will end up breaking. Right now, it looks like Leadfinger's the one who's going to make it. We're going to see Amari sitting in that 2nd place position relatively comfortably. Daikon and Ferry, meanwhile, they're going to be battling it out for that 3rd place position. Looks like Daikon has the upper hand in that battle for now, but up ahead we've got Amari in 2nd place. He's got his biggest fishing pole out. He's going to try to pull a Hyper here and see if he can make Hyper proud in heat number 2. And a nice Emmelman there from Amari, starting to figure out that section, but is he going to be able to catch up to Leadfingers? Leadfingers got about 2 tails on him. There's not much of space to make anything work, and it's not going to end up happening for Amari. It's going to be Leadfingers with the win there with a 1:43, a very respectable time. Amari just a second back, Ferry about 6 seconds back after that. Then Daikon, then Law's FPV finishing out as well. Great racing from our pilots there. Amari, though, not able to make that critical improvement that we were hoping to see from him. It looks like that extra practice that Leadfingers had is going to be critical here. Just getting comfortable on the track is not an easy thing to do. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of focus, and there's a little bit of a mental game to it, too. Like, knowing that you're prepared, knowing that you're ready, really, really helps out these pilots in feeling their best and feeling like they can do that every time. Speaking of our best, we're into heat number 3. This is going to be our fastest group of pilots here tonight so far, at least. So far. And so far, our fastest pilots are going to be Imperius, FPV, the Ice Cheetah, Rocker Guy, Free, Hyper, and KB. These guys are all Street League veterans. Most of them IRL, but all of them definitely in the sim. Since that's where we're battling it out tonight, I think that's what's going to count, is who's the most comfortable on the sticks on the sim tonight. So far it's been Hyper. He's been pretty dominant. He's had that good practice. He's gotten nice and comfortable with the track. He's spent some time with the quad as well. This is a new quad that we're testing out for these events. Originally we were asking pilots to throttle cap using their radio, but not all pilots could do that, because some people have Xbox controllers, you know, some people have radios that don't have that kind of advanced functionality. So we did a little bit of tweaking in the sim, and we managed to come up with a drone that is similar speed to a throttle capped Racer 4. It's not perfect, but it's definitely giving us the racing that we were hoping we would see. So far, I think it's been a pretty big success. So we're going to wait for those pilots to grid up. Let's take a look here at our points real quick. So right now the bubble is that 8 and 9 spot. You're trying to be at least 8th in order to make it to finals. And right now, King has just been dropped off of that bubble and Amari is tied with him. Amari, however, needs to gain 3 points on Ferry in the next round in order to survive. So it's going to be tricky. See what happens. Looks like Ferry is in this heat though, so it's gonna be. Oh no, Ferry was in a previous heat, so Marty's gonna need another round if he wants to catch up to Ferry.
I was gonna say, because I think for every point Ferry gains this round, I also, or any point I would gain, he would also gain at least the same amount.
Yeah. Alright. So here we go. It's gonna depend on if we end up going another round, I think, which I think we're going to complete this round before 9 o'clock, so we'll finish out. Well, I'll let Led make the call, but I think we're going to end up going one more round. Alright, and it looks like we've got Hyper in the lead. An absolute battle between everybody and him. He's trying to hold off the entire pack. He manages to make a little bit of a move on there. He zigs when they zag, and that works out for him as they go on to lap number 3, but it's not going to work out as Imperius makes the pass. Imperius doesn't want to be irrelevant in this race. He's fighting for first. He's not just racing for second. And right now he's put in the work and showing off, honestly, as he neck and neck with Hyper. It looks like they're side by side. Hyper just barely edging out on that slalom, but they come back together at the start finish. They're just so close right now. It's going to be a 1-2 battle between Hyper and Imperius. We've got Rocker Guy in that 3rd place position, trying to hang on to some good points here, but meanwhile Imperius is laying it all down on the line as he's pushing to catch up to Hyper, and it looks like he's right there. Who's going to take it? I can't tell who's in the lead. It could be anyone. And it's going to be Hyper barely taking the lead by 300ths of a second. The Ice Cheetah finishing out in 3rd place, Free in 4th. Some awesome racing from our pilots.
Damn.
Oh my gosh.
That was hot.
How are your nerves doing, Imperius? That was a hot race.
I was going for
Holy
consistency
cow.
in that run, so I'm
Okay.
feeling much better.
Okay.
Yeah, you did it well on that one.
Hyper, what's your take on this race? What's your strategy as you were racing that last race? Do we have Hyper? Do we have comms?
I don't know. That was
here.
both Hyper and Imperius' fastest lap. Or
Okay.
fastest race.
So we got PBs from both of our pilots.
Damn, bro.
Trying to give it more throttle, pack harder, you know.
Yeah, more
Give it a little
cags,
more
more
cack.
throttle.
Back to basics, really.
All right, I feel it. That's the name of the game here. After all, is just give it more throttle and it'll just go faster, right? Pretty easy, honestly. I don't know why it's so complicated. So I'll give you a quick demonstration with my Radio Master radio here. So all the other pilots, what they're doing is they're putting the throttle right here. And what they need to do, they need to put it a little more up here. And I think what some of the best pilots are doing, they're putting it way up here. And that's really the ticket. And if you want to go even faster, you hold down the W key while you do that and go even faster.
Yeah, you just gotta get your foot up on the desk.
Yeah.
Just start yelling cack.
Kick
But it
back,
worked.
relax, and cack. That's all it takes, buddy. That's all it takes.
Oh shoot, you're mode 1, huh?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
mode 1. It do be like that. Yeah, but overall...
Or mode.
oh yeah, technically it's mode 3.
It is mode 3. Yep. I was about to say something.
That's, yeah.
Yeah, technically it is freeze mode 3.
Yeah.
Right.
Mode 3 hype.
Mode 3
Well,
hype.
Throttle's
Also
meant to
kinda
be on,
different.
the throttle's meant to be on the right side.
Yep.
That's
Alright,
disgusting.
guys. So that's 4 rounds. We've done 4 rounds so far. It is 9 p.m. Mountain Time. We start at heats at 7:30.
And that last
We're
round took about 20 minutes, I think.
about 20 minutes. So what do we want to do? Do we want to run one more? Do we want to potentially run more than that?
Unamas.
Unamas?
One more. Down for one more.
One more
Okay.
will give it. make it
Fairy and
even
Amari
better.
don't get to vote.
I'm down for one more.
Fairy and Amari don't get to vote in this one.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do one more round.
All right, we're
Oh,
gonna
maybe we
do one
should
more
do
set
no more.
around.
Keep Amari out of the 8. I mean, what?
I want to see the battle, honestly.
Yeah, I want to battle it.
I want to see if he can make that last-minute comeback with no practice.
I gotta find 3 positions on Fairy though. Like holy smokes.
It's gonna be tough.
You're gonna need to run like a 142.
Just cat
Come on,
carpet.
Amari, it's
Yeah,
like
you
8
need
to 4.
certain pilots to do
See
well.
Sky's demonstration. Just do
Oh,
that.
you're right.
Yeah. Did you not pay attention to my instructions for how to go
You did.
Yeah,
fast?
but you're
I'm not sharing my notes.
You can do a study group after this. Alright, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and take this opportunity to set up some of our semifinal heats ahead of time. Meanwhile, I'm going to leave
Hey, Lim, you
our
wanna
wonderful
walk in?
viewers with a wonderful message from our sponsors.
And I know who did my
That's true.
Yeah, technically people may actually be able to
we know what's happening.
figure this out.
We appreciate you doing it.
I think we had someone DC.
Yeah. We may have a disconnect here. That's unfortunate.
Who got
Let's see,
bumped out?
Lim is here. I'm here.
Oh,
wait,
it went.
fine.
Just
There's
took a
5.
minute.
Yep, I see 5.
There we go. We're off and away. We only got 5 pilots in this round. We had a couple drop.
Oh, I got blinded by other drones. I know what
And
it's like now.
we're going to be watching Debits storm ahead of Chris Christensen going into that slalom. Lem trying to catch up
Sorry.
as well.
Lim is hauling.
Oh, we had some nice flying from Lim, but then a mistake is going to let Chris Christensen catch up there. Going on to lap number 2, we got a little bit of a battle here, but Chris Christensen goes down in the tunnel, it looks like. Yep, and he's going to have to catch back up now. Lem in the second place position. We're going to have a little bit of a battle here for second place. Meanwhile, Debits out in first. Nice and clean through the slalom. He's got some room here. We're going to see him try to make that turn. This time not hitting the ground, keeping it nice and clean onto lap number 3. And Chris Christensen in second place now, still battling with Lim, making that pass back. We missed that, unfortunately, but he's going to come through that tunnel nice and clean, making the U-turn around the flag. They're both together, though. It looks like Lem had a nice line through there. And we got the battle. Oh, we got the battle, and it ends in fireworks with Lem going into the flag, and that's going to be it for him, seemingly, at least for this lap. Meanwhile, Debits already onto his last lap, making the U-turn up and over the tunnel. He's off and away clear. He's got plenty of room behind him. It looks like Chris Christensen trying to make that push. I don't think he'll be able to do it. We got a little bit of a gap here.
Ooh.
Meanwhile, Lem trying to keep it nice and clean as well, hoping that he can capitalize on some of these mistakes. It looks like we got a forfeit from Sturmy, so that's going to mix things up a little bit in this heat points-wise. Meanwhile, we got Debits finishing it out with a 157. Chris Christensen finishing it out just a couple seconds back, then Lim. Groot's going to be our 4th place pilot, taking advantage of that forfeit from Sturmy.
I've never been blinded by drones. Now I know what it's like at least.
You've never raced with Amari?
You've never raced with Amari.
No, I haven't for one. Well,
I
actually,
should-
technically I had, but he was long gone.
I should
so-
see if I can find the video of Amari's drone.
Oh, it's so good.
And show it on stream because it's pretty great.
Oh my
My lap
gosh.
3 was
There's
a
the-
nice lap. But...
There's that like the sidelines view.
Where did that get posted? Was that in Footy?
It's in the footy channel, yeah.
I'm
That
gonna
one you
pull
can
this
see
Is
the
that
up.
LEDs
legal?
like lighting up the ground below it.
I'm trying to
Is
figure
that
out who
legal?
posted it. Is what legal?
The
But when I-
brightness.
It won't be next race. Just a heads up, Amari.
It's
All I need you is to write me some Arduino code because I have no idea how to change it.
I will help you out with that anytime you got time. I don't know where it is.
I felt good on that.
What's
one.
up?
I tagged you in the footy channel.
Oh, thank you.
You can't do white in beta flight, can you?
Oh, you can.
You can.
Okay.
You'll
flight controller
here. I'll
wouldn't
show you
talk.
what it.
Yeah.
I'll show you what it looks like.
That's like the brightest color, huh? White.
Oh yeah, that was kind of the intention.
All right, so this is our Las Vegas race. This was season race number 1, and this was our climax that we had. And what a race this was! But you could see Amari's drone there being powered from a separate Tiny Trainer battery.
Where are you
Some
showing
awesome racing
On stream.
this? Oh, okay.
between this was Imperious and Amari. So maybe we'll get to see that battle play out again tonight. Not sure yet. But yeah, you can see that drone of Amari's just lighting up the ground. You got away with it this time.
What was your goal here?
I wanted max LEDs. That's what 110 watts of LEDs look like.
The goal is
10 watt.
get in front so nobody behind you can see.
I wish you were exaggerating with that number.
It was literally 21 amps at 5 volts of white LED.
Dude,
So
you
for
pull more LEDs than a tiny trainer, or more amps than a tiny trainer in
crazy.
flight.
yup.
All right, guys, real quick, we got Daikon, King, Laws FPV, Leadfingers, Amari, and Fairy ready to race.
I'm sad.
Why are you like this, Amari?
Send it when ready.
I got messed up.
Oh, is King back? Looks like we do have King back. That's awesome.
Let's go, King.
Let's go. You should see the size of the back I had to you.
Is King not back?
I think he's back. Hello? Did he move
But
himself
you
up?
get to fly it.
No, I moved him up.
I don't think King
Oh.
is actually here, so
Thank
you
you.
may want to drop him. Oh,
Alright,
too
we're
late for that.
I did drop him.
Oh, okay, okay.
Real quick,
Now,
guys, I'm probably gonna
he
jump
was
out.
here even though it wasn't
Okay.
heat.
No
Have a good night,
worries.
guys.
Yep, you
See you in
too.
a bit. Uh-oh. Load. Okay, we load it. We're good.
Just takes a second. Alright, we've got our pilots gridded up for heat number 2. This is going to be the big heat to determine, is Amari going to gain 3 positions on Fairy? That's what it's going to take for him to bump him out of the top 8. Right now, though, not looking to happen. We've got a little bit of a battle here between Amari, Leadfingers, and Fairy. Laws and Daikon rounding up the back of the pack. And an awesome first lap from Amari. He's pushing as hard as he can, trying to make sure that he stays nice and consistent. The best he can do is get first. He's not going to be able to affect what Fairy does, honestly. And right now, Fairy's doing all he needs to do in that 3rd place position. Leadfingers trying to maximize points just to improve his seating position for semifinals. He's going to have to catch Amari to do that. He was able to do that in the last heat, but will he be able to do it here? It doesn't look like it so far. Amari is just starting to get comfortable on this track. He's starting to figure it out. He's starting to figure out where those lines are and where the speed can be found as he goes up through the Emmelman, out and around the slalom. Fairy now jumping into the 2nd place position ahead of Leadfingers. That may spell doom for Amari. Oh my goodness, Fairy's not going to go down without a fight. And he goes on to his last lap neck and neck with lead fingers. Meanwhile, Amari just absolutely out and clear on his own. Completely different level of flying, but unfortunately he wasn't able to perform in those early heats. And I think that's going to cost him. So Amari finishes. We got the battle between Lead and Fairy.
Your third Emmelman was great.
Oh my goodness. Lead takes it by 0.2 seconds.
So
Law sneaking in
Well,
in
actually,
fourth.
that's not the end.
So actually,
No,
yes.
it has everything to do with how Fairy does now.
So
Or
we're
not.
going to spend a
Fair
moment talking about the beauty of Street League format. Because essentially you have to imagine that you are racing against every single pilot simultaneously. You may not know what time they're going to get yet. We still have one more heat in the round. But essentially Amari could potentially have set a faster time than some of the people in this next heat are able to set. If that is the case, if some of those people fall between Fairy and Amari, Amari may get those crucial points that he needs to get into the top 8. And I think once he's there, he'll have a little bit of his work cut out for him. But that's going to be the case for anyone in the top 8, honestly. So the way this works...
I think 2 people have to come between me and Fairy in the next heat.
Yep.
And that would just be to tie. I assume it goes to motocross?
Yes.
Yeah.
It goes to motocross. We'll see if the software does it correctly. It should.
2 people have to get lower than a 141 or higher than a 146.
Yeah. This feels like the Price is Right all of a sudden.
141 and a 146. Okay, so if 2 pilots get between a 141 and a 146, then Amari is going to advance to top 8. If not, that's crazy. This is very interesting. We have not had this play out quite like this in Street League history. We did have...
If it comes to a points tie, Amari is moving.
say that again? If it's a points
because
tie, Amari wins.
You already figured Amari's moving up. Okay.
Yeah. So this is going to be really interesting. I'm not sure how this is going to go, honestly.
Because, yeah, that last heat, for Amari to pass in points, Fairy would have had to come in last.
Alright, boys.
Right.
The plan is simple.
The plan is simple. Just either, if you're between those 2 numbers, just fall back so that you don't have Amari in final.
How are these?
Oh my gosh, that's actually
Wait.
so
Say that
true.
again. Say that again.
That's
what was the
so
strat?
true, actually.
If you feel like you're gonna get lower than a 141, just fail.
Oh
Get a
my
147
gosh.
or
Oh my gosh, the toxic metagaming. That's incredible.
It's entirely up to the pilots. I want Amari in there, so I'm gonna try and squeeze in that little 5-second range there.
And what I was gonna say, and if you want him in there, don't just go all out. Split that time.
Yeah, Fairy got a 146 and Amari got a 141.
It's
So you
gonna
can't-
depend on who
5
wants
second
Amari and
window to
who wants
finish it.
Fairy in the finals.
Yeah, in theory, it's
Yeah,
like
that's
140 sit by the
window.
start gate for 3 or
You
4
guys
seconds.
could
And then
all just land.
Alright,
right
you
at
guys
the
ready
finish
up
gate.
whenever you're ready. Your lobby's full.
You could all just not launch.
Oh my gosh, that
They
would be.
could all wait like 10 seconds and then go.
What is happening? What is this? This is something I genuinely
This is
did
why
not
we had
foresee.
match fixing.
We've never thought of this.
No, we've never come
Yeah,
across
this
this situation.
You can intentionally decide who you want in and who you don't.
That is a theoretical possibility here as we go into... What are they gonna do? We've got some serious existential crisis as these pilots go on to their last points round. We've had the pilots discover they would prefer not to be racing Amari. They believe that he is generally going to be the faster pilot in finals. But since he didn't have the practice, he didn't have good early rounds, and now he needs a couple pilots to sit between him and Fairy. time-wise.
On the edge of his seat right now.
And all the pilots have just realized that if they were to all simultaneously throw the race, it would guarantee that Amari is not in top 8. I think this is going to come down to...
This is really difficult.
This is a matter of sportsmanship at this point. Imperius has none, as he stops in the tunnel. The Ice Cheetah... The Ice Cheetah pushing for that first position right now. He's going to be followed closely by KB, an uncharacteristically slow round from Hyper and Imperius. They're not exactly incentivized to do well here. I don't think we could prove anything, honestly.
In fairness, I legitimately did right, and I feel really bad, Fairy.
Oh, and
I
the Ice Cheetah
legitimately
did
didn't need to go down.
Oh my goodness, but right now, KB doesn't care. He's going to race as fast as he can and get that first place position 0.2 seconds ahead of Rocker Guy.
Oh no!
Barely sneaking it in on him. Hyper in third place, the Ice Cheetah.
Oh no. 3 people. No, there was 3.
Alright, here we go.
3 people that fell between it.
There were?
You guys all came between them.
Like,
Oh
3
my
people
gosh, you guys,
I think 3 people fell into in between the delta.
I believe that's going to be it.
I only got one person.
We're going to watch these times update in real time. Keep an eye on the right side of your screen.
You guys didn't throw hard enough.
We're looking for Amari to potentially pass Fairy. It could happen. We're gonna wait for the call from our race director.
Alright, we got KB in there, we got Hyper in there.
Oh, we've got the updates coming thick and fast.
3.
A tie right now. Amari wins it. Oh, Amari's got the extra point.
He just oh.
Oh, hold on. Oh.
Oh no! Did it? Oh, it
Oh my goodness.
Dang.
Alright, I gotta figure out what USB device is
Amari got
absolutely
him by
dying
1
right
point.
now.
You guys didn't throw hard enough.
I think he got it.
And it
That's how
looks
that
like
works.
Amari gets it. He's going to take the win on Fairy, bumping him out of the top 8. Sorry to say, Fairy, it was a
Yeah,
valiant
you too, dude.
effort.
Good race.
I'm gonna have to see if I can figure out why my computer is acting like USB devices are being unplugged.
Oh, hold on, I got these points are wrong.
Oh.
Oh,
Steve Harvey moment. Steve Harvey
Hold on.
moment.
oh,
Hold on. Yeah, Rocker guy's time's wrong. Hold on. We're gonna fix this.
uh-oh.
Rocker guy.
Oh, we gotta run that race again.
Run it back, run it back.
Run it back.
Oh, wait. Didn't we decide that it was a race-off?
Let's do a race off, Amari.
Hang on. I'm gonna pull up the
I mean, I'm
rules.
down.
I'm gonna pull up the rules.
I'm
Hold on,
super
hold on.
down.
I think it's actually in the rules that it's a race-off. Let me double check.
Wait, hold on.
I
Okay,
hope
so
it is.
now
That sounds hype.
Rocker guy. Okay, Rocker guy's time is correct. What's the finish? Oh my god.
Is it tied?
Is it?
No.
Is it tied?
Amari still has it.
Amari still has it by 2 points.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, by 2 now.
I'm going to honestly change the rules right now to say that that's a race-off in the future.
Sort of concept.
If you guys were to tie in points for the 8th position, that's 100%
100%.
going to be a race-off.
You should make it that if they're within like 2 or 3 points, they can
Yeah, you
they
should
can
make
challenge
it
a
like you
1v1
have
or
to
something.
win by a certain amount, and you can challenge it.
Why would you
That
ever
kinda-
accept the
I
challenge,
think
though?
that kind of fixes the
Why would you
sandbagging
accept it if you're
situation.
gonna lose?
That might.
Oh,
Maybe that helps.
Challenge.
Maybe that helps fix
Like
that
the
a little
number
bit.
I see what
9
you're saying.
The number 9 person can challenge the number 8 person if they think it was unfair to 1v1.
Or if they're within a certain number of points.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're
That'd be
within a
honest,
certain amount of points, they can challenge.
Yeah, if you're within like
Then you
3
really
or
gotta
5
fight for that
points.
spot.
I don't
then it's
know.
like the 8v9.
I think it's great.
I think,
That would be a sick rule for later. I don't think we can like.
yeah,
Not
I'll have to
that
think
sounds
about
like a good
that.
idea. To make that change.
We'll have
But
to. I have to
that
think about that.
sounds awesome.
What do you have against sudden death rounds?
I like sudden death rounds. But if somebody makes a legitimate last-minute pass and it's dope, they've earned it, you know?
Yeah, but like,
I don't want to take
fight
that away.
for it like a man.
But if it's within a certain amount of points, they made a last-minute pass. But
You could
You
argue...
don't want to
Board
throw out
has
the
been
whole
moving.
spirit of the spec for one fucking round. It would be a bad thing to do.
What about just win by 2, huh? So if it's 1 point off.
right, like,
You could do that.
Only if it's a 1-point differential.
Yeah, I'm gonna put some thought into that because there's a couple ways it could be solved. Ideally, though, you should probably not consider the pilot with more points faster.
You could also let the number 8 pilot decide if they want to accept the challenge. Like the number 9 can say, "Hey, I'll 1v1 you for that 8th spot." You know,
Yeah, it's just like
most people
not
might say
accepting
no.
Iron Man. It's just the culture.
But you know, if you're called out on
In
the
an
spot, you
IRL
might
race-
accept the challenge, right?
Right.
Fair enough.
In an IRL race, you have to put street cred down.
You know what? Okay, so yeah, you have the option to challenge. The guy's not obligated to take it, and it may
Or
just
the
be
loser
considered.
puts street cred up, or like the 9th place street cred up,
Yeah.
just to have the challenge. That way there
Yeah.
is something to gain if you win, other than just
Well,
staying in.
it's not called a grudge match for nothing, and we're gonna have time for that in Florida. We're gonna have
That's a lot of consideration for the 8th place.
Right.
Right.
Alright, guys, we got KB, Free, Hyper, and Lead Fingers ready to race.
Oh,
Sick.
Imperius, get out.
Get out.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
All right, here we go. These are gonna be our semifinal A, heat number 1. Who's gonna be able to take it in this heat? It's gonna be really interesting to see.
are we doing back to back or split?
Oh, we're gonna go back to back on this one,
Okay,
cause
I want to see
Sim.
Hyper's massive biceps.
You're
that's the wrong pilot.
gonna have
How
to
else
get
did
ahead of
he-
him
How else did
first.
you manage that huge fishing pole?
All of the
Alright.
forearms, baby.
All right, we got pilots. We got Tones. We've got Hyper getting the whole shot right off the rip, making a nice tight turn there. Although, actually, no, looks like KB is gonna storm to the front. They're honestly just red, white, and blue between all of them. Leadfingers trailing the back. What a beautiful sight we've got here is we've got Hyper and KB absolutely battling it out. Free fighting for his life to hang on in there. Now the format here is just get first and advance. And that's what they're all aiming to do is we've got Hyper now pushing a little bit into the lead going up through the Emmelman. Now it's going to be KB playing chase through the slalom, seeing if he can catch up. He's going to have to really push here if he wants to be able to beat a pilot as good as Hyper. He is our top contender here so far as they go through the tunnel. He's going to be the one to beat, and right now he's proving it. KB's giving him a good fight, though, as they go through the slalom one more time. One last lap here. KB hasn't given up yet. He's still within a tail of Hyper as they push through onto that last lap. Free now falling a little bit back from KB. A really nice exit of that tunnel from Hyper. I think that may be where he's gaining some of his time on KB here, but KB gaining it back everywhere else except for the Emmelman as KB falls back a little bit from a bobble. Looks like Hyper's going to be clean and away. That's going to be the semifinal Heat 1 Group A win for Hyper. He is going to be advancing to the top 4. Congratulations, Hyper. KB is going to have to
Great
take
match.
all that effort that he put
job.
into that
Good
heat
job.
and do it again. He's going to have to battle it out with Free and Leadfingers to make this happen. Great racing there, pilots.
Anyone else see the way that the drone's like shotgun as soon as right at the end there?
So Leadfingers, I'm just going to go ahead and run this one again,
Yeah, because I forgot to set him up.
but I'm
Twice.
going to drop. Oh wait, I can't. Actually, never mind.
You just
I'm
run
gonna-
it
I'm gonna-
again and then just mark 1 and 2.
I'm gonna copy it, but I'm gonna drop. Wait, where did that heat get created? What is that heat named?
Round 6, heat 1.
Oh, okay, but this is semifinals. Got it.
Oh, that's
That's okay. That's okay. A.
You can ready up, guys. We
One.
don't need the timing system
Yep.
for
Yep.
this
Go
part.
ahead and
Set it up to
go
like,
when you're ready.
oh, it's timing stuff.
Yeah. It's just logistics.
I thought it was just like organization stuff because you could just run it again and then push the 1 and 2 up to a finals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what I mean.
finals is a paper race. At this point.
Gotcha.
I think it's in the software for actual races.
Fair.
Alright, these are going to be our pilots. Lost Hyper, as he has advanced to the top 4 already. We're going to look for Free out in the lead here temporarily, but unfortunately going to get passed by KB. KB going up through that emblem, nice and clean. We see the mistake from Free, a rare one at that, and it's going to be Leadfingers now battling it out with KB, trying to push on him, see if he can catch up to get that win, but I don't think KB's going to let go of that one easily. He's been solid all night, one of our top contenders so far, and that's going to let him push ahead over the tunnel. Absolutely killing it here from KB.
In that NSD drone.
Not enough.
Yeah, you spend all this time on the unlocked drone, you got no shot. Come on. Come on, just a little belly bounce, a little something.
A little.
You know, just something to make it interesting.
We got,
Real.
oh, hit him with the. Are we gonna get the barrel roll from KB going into the finish? That is the question. He's got the barrel roll. He's flexing. KB knows what he's about, and he is about winning, and he's about winning in style so far. He's got one more lap to go as he's dominating this semifinal A. Heat number 2. Wasn't able to catch Hyper, but he's certainly going to be able to catch these other pilots as he's about. We got the trash talk. We got the trash talk from Leadfingers.
I want to see the yaw spin through the finish gate.
Looking
Let's
for
go.
the. Oh, we got the. Is KB going to throw it away?
Oh no.
He got a little bit cocky, but he's going to take it anyway. Your winner is going to be KB, doing it in style, beating out Leadfingers.
That was the most
so
PM thing I've ever seen.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Almost lost it.
Leadfingers asked, and KB delivered.
100% thought you threw it there. Dang.
Almost, man.
Great
my
racing,
God.
guys.
On my screen, it looked like you did throw it away. I was losing my shit.
That
I'm like, yeah!
was awesome.
That was great. Good racing.
Oh yeah, good job, man.
Alright, we're going to be looking for our next semifinal heat. It's going to be semifinal heat number 1. Ice Rocker Imperious Amari.
Need Free to jump out. You're good. Alright, let's go, baby.
Who's our 4th pilot? I've got Ice Rocker Amari
Imperious.
Imperious. There we go. Here we go. These are your pilots.
Pilot, Harry.
Unfortunately, Ferry not joining us in this one as Amari stole that position. Is he going to be able to steal any others? He's got an opportunity here going into the first heat of semifinal Group B. They are off and away, and it looks like Ice Cheetah going down early. That's going to put him back of the pack for now. Looks like Imperious in the front of the pack, though. He's got an opportunity to make a move here on Amari, but right now it looks like Amari making the moves out on that slalom. They're neck and neck, dancing between the two of them on lap number 1. Going on to lap number 2 now. They're still side by side around that first turn through the tunnel, and it looks like a nice exit there from both of them. They're just side by side, literally no distance between either of them until the Emmelman. Amari makes a little bit of a move there, risking just a little bit more than Imperious was able to, and Imperious risking a little bit too much on the slalom, knocking into that flag and bumping back into second place. This isn't necessarily the end for him if he can't get the win, but it's certainly not going to feel good to lose to Amari after he has worked his way all the way through the bracket with very little practice. That bump from
That'd be working.
Amari is going to let Imperius catch up a little bit. The mistakes can happen, and it looks like Imperius has a little bit of a better line there. Coming on to lap number 4, he's caught back up. We've got a battle yet again. It's going to be Amari and Imperius. The 1-2 position, it's going to come down to this Emmelman, I believe. Who is going to take it? It looks like it's going to be Imperius seemingly with the better Emmelman. They're side by side, folks. Here we go. It's going to be a race to the finish. Who's going to get it? And it's going to be Imperius taking the win by less than a tenth of a second.
That's what's up, man.
Awesome
nice
race.
run,
About a
dude.
tenth of a second. Oh my gosh.
Let's go, Murray. We pulled out the fishing pole.
Wow. Great comeback from
I
Imperius
didn't
there.
find it close to the end, but
Wow.
definitely get that gate in front.
Imperius taking the win there. That was one of the best battles that I think we've had in a semifinal heat so far. Whew, good racing, fellas. That was great.
That was insane.
That was good.
Alright, we're going to go ahead and kick off this next one when you are ready, pilots. We see now Imperius is our advancee. I'm going to go ahead and show our pilots. Just briefly before we kick off this heat, it's going to be the Ice Cheetah, Rocker Guy, and Amari. Here we go, folks. We've got some tones. We've got pilots ready to race. This is the eyes of Amari as he chases down Rocker Guy through that first gate. It's going to be all three of them through the tunnel. Looks like Rocker Guy with the early lead, followed by Ice Cheetah. Amari playing chase temporarily and ending the chase through the Emmelman with a much better Emmelman than Ice Cheetah. He's sandwiched between these two drones though as they go on lap number 2. It's a tight battle between all of our pilots. No mistakes can be afforded to be made here. As they go up through that Emmelman again, this is the differentiator on the track. Who's going to take it? It's going to be Amari. He loves mastering whatever the differentiator is on any track. That's always been his style, is to make sure he's doing that element the best. And they're just absolutely neck and neck. Formation flying as we go on to lap number 3. Amari barely in the lead ahead of Ice Cheetah and Rocker Guy. They're going to come back through that Emmelman. Are we going to see another switch up here? We've seen one almost every lap. They're still so close. Epic racing from all of these pilots. It's going to be Amari barely in the lead there, losing it there on that turn to Ice Cheetah now in first place just by an inch. Going on to the last lap of the race, there's no distance between any of these pilots. It looks like Ice Cheetah, though, barely ahead still through the Emmelman. It's anybody's game except for Amari's as they go on to the last bit of the track, and it looks like Rocker Guy pulling out ahead. He's side by side with Ice Cheetah, and Rocker Guy takes it by 0.1 seconds. An insane race all race long. We thought Amari was going to be able to sneak his way into the top 4, but the Ice Cheetah and Rocker Guy putting on an absolute clinic.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Sweating enough?
That was my best freaking race too.
Yeah, that was PB for me.
Rocker, Hyper.
That was amazing
Good
racing,
job,
guys.
Ice Cheetah, Mari. Man, that was a hell of a race.
GG's, yeah, that was awesome.
Wow, so it's going to be Rocker moving on to top 4. He's been fighting for that spot here week after week, and he finally got it.
Amari and Ice Cheetah go down.
Actually, I think, Rocker, you have made top 4 before, have you not?
No, I made top 8 a couple times. So
Okay. So this is the first top 4 situation for Rocker. He's going to be competing against Hyper. Who's it going to be? Hyper, KB, and Imperius, who are all top 4 experts in Street League. So this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I think we've got the speed for any of these pilots to potentially win. It's just a matter of who's going to do it when it counts.
Alright, I'm back. Who's ready for the smoke?
I
Remember,
think
this
you
isn't
are,
a
good
race-
sir.
a race for not last, right?
Yeah.
AB's ready. Imperius is ready.
Rocker guy.
Coordinated.
Imperius. Who is it? KB, Rocker Guy, Imperius, and
Hyper.
Wow. Okay.
Hyper. I forget. He's kind of a nobody.
Hyper. I barely even know her.
Alright, we've got Tones. They're off and away. This is going to be the eyes of KB as we go through that first gate. He launches harder than anybody else. Doesn't see a single drone in his view as he goes around that U-turn and up over the tunnel. Let's switch to the auto cams here as we've got a nice shot of KB in the lead through the Emmelman. Rocker Guy catching up though. They're neck and neck. Looks like KB has a little bit of a lead though. Is he going to be able to keep that lead throughout the slalom? It looks like he is going on to lap number 2. He's side by side though with Rocker Guy. It's anybody's game still. Only halfway through the race, if actually not even halfway through the race yet, is Hyper's got that fishing pull out. We've seen him pull it out before. And it looks like the psychological games of Hyper being on his tail is going to mess with KB as he goes up through that Emmelman. It's going to be now Rocker Guy and Hyper battling it out as we go on to lap number 3. Rocker Guy hanging on to it.
Get back here.
But right now, that fishing pole is looking pretty irresistible to Hyper. He's got it out. He's reeling as he battles it out with Rocker through the slalom. Who's going to be able to get this? Going on to lap number 4. And it looks like Rocker Guy is still pulling out a better slalom there than Hyper. Decent amount of distance for how simple that element seems like it would be. Who's going to be able to finish out that Emmelman? Beautiful Emmelman from Rocker Guy as he puts the smoke on Hyper, but Hyper has the slalom of his life. They're side by side going into the last gate, and it's going to be Hyper making the pass in the very last corner.
Dude, the last
Oh my goodness. Rocker Guy with an incredible showing there.
Man, I was close.
We're going to go back and look at that 300th of a second
Oh my god.
between KB and Imperius. We've got...
Yo, Sky, run back that last lap with KB and Imperius.
Yeah, let's go ahead and watch some... Oh, I cannot watch the replay.
Man, Rocker had that the whole time.
Nope, I cannot.
Yeah, dude, last flag, dude.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunate.
That was close, Rocker.
That was great racing, guys.
Yeah.
That's gonna be, anyone watching in the YouTube is gonna want to clip that.
Can someone that's in the race right now, can they watch it on Discord?
Yeah, I could stream a Discord live stream if somebody wants to host that, so our audience can get that action replay, because that was amazing. Alright, here we go. This is gonna be our live stream brought to you by Imperius. This is a replay of that last race. So what are we looking for here? Is it that last turn?
Last lap.
Last lap. Okay.
You skip ahead, yeah.
Alright.
There it is.
Yeah, give us that. Good from KB.
Literally the last turn is where it all happens.
An awesome battle here.
You had him by a whole tail for a while.
Rocker's way out there.
I got sloppy at the end.
Yeah, you like nicked the ground or something.
Yeah. The Immelman, I think
So for our audience at home, last place is going to be going home here. So this is that replay of what went down. We got... Oh, man.
Look right here.
Oh, you recovered so well from that slalom. You recovered so well.
Amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, slow it down a bit too.
Switch to the Rocker Guy's drone, not KB's drone.
Yeah, Rocker Guy.
Yeah, Rocker Guy was taking him on that slalom.
Yeah, give us a nice zoomed in.
You're gonna want to go back about 5 seconds. Or maybe not?
No,
Is this
no,
all
I think
here?
this
It's up
is.
ahead. Yeah, it's up ahead.
I thought I
He
did it
barely
earlier.
touched it because I couldn't even see it. Can you zoom in a little? Our stream quality
Oh,
is
he
pretty low.
hit it?
It's coming up. It's coming up.
Oh man,
Too
Just
much.
barely.
was it.
dang, that was what decided it for sure. Oh my gosh, go back and do slow mo of how close KB and Imperius were.
Oh yes.
It looked like it was a tie.
Get
between me.
get way up in there, zoom all the way in.
Oh yeah, baby.
You guys were next to each other.
Oh my. Holding hands through the turn.
Right.
Hey man, sure thing.
Get that carry out.
That's
I can't believe that.
crazy.
Rotate up above them a bit.
Crazy.
Is that all ground effect?
Man, that's what I tried to get because I messed up. So I was like, I gotta do something.
Dude, it is.
That's how close it
Oh
was.
my gosh. Wait, so
It's
KB.
so
oh, I didn't
effective in
realize
this.
KB snuck that away.
Yeah, KB snuck that out.
Wow.
So crazy.
If it was like 5 feet longer, I would have lost it.
That's incredible.
Because Imperius hit the top right of that gate and was lined up better for this flag.
I had the momentum.
Yeah, you had it.
down.
I tried the ground affected because I was already about to lose it.
That's literally the ground effect won you that race. That was incredible
God.
thinking.
Dude.
GG's,
And then there were
Imperius.
3.
That was incredible racing. Super fun to watch. Alright, so we're back. We're going to be running this next heat. This is going to be heat number 2 of our top 4. It has now become our top 3. And it will soon become our top 2. So that we can
Remember, it's
decide
race
our
to last.
winner. Let's go ahead and run through our pilots real quick. We've got the Ice Cheetah, Rocker Guy, and Amari.
What?
Or sorry,
I've
sorry,
been
sorry,
knocked
sorry.
out.
Not Amari. Oh, I forgot to change the heat. Sorry about that. Let me correct that real quick. All right, so our second heat is
From
going
the
to
grave.
be- from the grave, yeah. All right, our heat is going to be KB, Rocker Guy, and Hyper. And right off the rip, it's gonna be KB in that lead as we go on to lap number 2. Beautiful racing here from all of our pilots as Hyper makes a nice switch back there to take the lead on KB just by a little bit. KB now fighting it out with Rocker Guy as they go through the slalom. A nice slalom there from KB. Is he going to gain any ground on Hyper? It doesn't look like he is. Hyper, the master of momentum right now as he goes on to lap number 2, or lap number 3 in the lead. Over that tunnel, a sizable lead now from Hyper. Are KB or Rocker Guy going to have anything to capitalize on? Because I think that's what it's going to take to catch up to Hyper. A nice slalom from Hyper there as we go on to the last lap of our race. I think he's got it in the bag. It's going to come down to whether or not he drops the bag, and so far that doesn't seem to be happening as KB and Rocker Guy giving it everything they've got. It looks like Rocker Guy didn't quite have it in him, and Rocker Guy or KB looks like he's going to lose it out as well on that Emmelman. Hyper free and clear. He's going to be continuing, and Rocker Guy is in 3rd place, and it's going to be Rocker Guy getting eliminated there. Hyper with the win. KB securing at least 2nd place.
That was a good race.
That was great racing from our pilots. Rocker Guy, congratulations on 3rd place.
GG Rocket.
Yeah, congrats.
Not bad racing.
That race was some of the fastest times we've seen all night from every pilot.
Yeah. You guys just
Yeah,
keep getting
all
faster and faster and faster. And we've been racing for 2 hours. 2.5 hours. We've been racing for 2.5 hours, and people are still getting faster.
Our final race, Hyper versus KB, red versus blue.
This is what it comes down to.
Might be Sarge.
Didn't I tell you to quit making up animals?
You are 100% Caboose Hyper.
Caboose is blue.
Then y'all need to change colors. I don't know what to tell you.
Sheila.
I was sitting here like, really?
Really
No
useful
one's
when
gonna
I have a
remember that?
tank.
KB is
Alright,
definitely
this is
sorry.
it. This is our climax.
Will KB take it, or will Hyper reel him in?
KB versus Hyper. Hyper versus KB. They go into the first turn. It's going to be neck and neck racing so far.
KB in the lead.
KB just barely in the lead. Is he going to be able to get the Emmelman on Hyper? It looks like he does. Great racing from our pilots here so far. And an awesome first lap from them both as they go on to lap number 2. KB just barely in the lead. Hyper side by side with him now over the tunnel. Who's going to get the better Emmelman? It looks like it's going to be Hyper coming out of that with more speed. KB losing a decent amount there as he goes through the slalom. One of his favorite positions, though, is the slalom. And I think he's going to be able to gain a little bit back there as they go on to the third lap. One more lap to go after this. They got a little bit of time to make a move. They can't show all their cards quite yet. And Hyper just getting so comfortable with that Emmelman. Absolute mastery as he comes through it with so much momentum. KB not much farther behind than he was, but there is definitely some space being created by Hyper as we go on to our very last lap to decide it all. It looks like we've got about a tail for Hyper up to that Emblem again, and KB giving it everything he had. It's not going to be enough. Hyper is going to come away with the win. He's got a victory slalom going on right now. And the win for Hyper, ending it sideways with a little bit of flair. Some awesome racing from both of our pilots.
Damn.
Whew.
Good racing, man.
Good job, Hyper.
That was a great race.
Good racing, boys. That was excellent, excellent racing. And it looks like Hyper,
Freaking Emmelman.
our
That
two-time
slow quad is tough.
Yeah, towards the end, when you start getting that battery sag, when Emmelman is terrible.
Oh yeah, it's the worst.
That battery sag is home.
Hyper prefers doing it IRL, so he likes every little bit of realism he can get. Well, congratulations to your podium. It's going to be Hyper in first place, KB in second. We're going to have Rocker Guy finishing out in third. Good racing, pilots. Thank you so much for joining us, and to our audience on YouTube, thank you for watching the Street League race. It's been a great time. If you're interested in getting into this, getting into drone racing at all, go ahead and check out streetleague.io. We've also got a Discord and a Facebook, all of the social medias you could possibly want. So go ahead and jump on those and feel free to hit us up. We'd love to help you get either into the hobby for the first time or into Street League specifically, because it's a great time, it's a great community, and this is what we love doing. We love racing, we love throwing hands and finding out who's the fastest on any given night. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it so much, and we will see you next time.